There are two ways to pick the right stock during the pandemic. To start, you have to stop paying attention to the news because the news is telling you everything wrong with the pandemic. They didn't tell you that there were a lot of people that have made a lot of money and are still making a lot of money during this pandemic. The first thing you want to consider is start looking into companies that are winning during the pandemic. While everything was going wrong, you were still giving companies your time, your money, and your energy. What companies were getting your money? Think about essential businesses. These companies were still thriving, making money, and you were still giving your time, energy, and money to them, right? What about Target? Think about Target as an example. We always say we spend all this money in Target. We go in for one thing, we end up buying the entire store. You could have invested in Target for less than $100 during the height of the pandemic because everyone was still shopping there. Everyone was giving their money to Target, right? The second thing you can also consider is what companies were losing during the pandemic, but eventually will bounce back, right? I personally love to travel. And as a result of this pandemic, I couldn't travel as often as I wanted to. Airlines took a hit. Hotels took a hit. Restaurants took a hit. But does that mean that every airline, every restaurant, every hotel is going to go bankrupt? Absolutely not. So you can consider companies that took a hit but will ultimately bounce back. For example, the #1 airline in the world, Delta. You could have invested in Delta for less than $20 during the height of the pandemic. Is Delta going to fall off the face of the earth because we're not traveling as often? Absolutely not. So understand that you can pick companies that are winning, that are still making money, that are still growing during the pandemic, or you can also consider companies that took a hit but will eventually bounce back once the pandemic is over.